Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about this question that I often get asked by people who really want to get into the audio production business, like music production business. People often ask me if they really need to know how to play any instrument before they become music producers. I get a lot of young people always coming around, some coming to my DM, some even in comment section, they will ask, do I really need to know how to play instrument before I become a music producer? So today I'm going to be answering some of the questions and I'm going to put it in a way that you really need to think about it, or maybe the way it makes it easier for you. First of all, to start with, if you know me, I'll always say that I don't like setting rules because every time we try to set rules, someone comes from nowhere and try and just breaks the rule successfully. This question makes it you cannot say no, you cannot say yes. Of course, you can become a music producer if you don't know how to play the instrument. We have a lot of people who play, who are producers who have made it big in the production, in the music production business, but they don't know how to play instrument. The likes of SARS, the likes of David Guetta, and many, many, many of them. They don't play any instrument, but they are new music producers. Of course, we have to also talk about technology, which has visited us with so much innovations that these days everything is possible. I'm sure in future we will have AIs. With the presence of AIs, with the growth of AIs now, I'm sure in the future we will have people. You can be able to sing into whatever app you're using and give it a command and tell it what kind of music that you want it to produce for you. So things are really changing. Things are really changing, and there's really no rules to music. When you are music, all you want to do is just let it sound beautiful. All you want to do is have beautiful sound in music, and that is all you need. I said it earlier that there's no rules to these things. There's no rules, there's no laws guiding these things. The only law that guides music is for it to sound nice. Then you can imagine when the man who invented the aircraft was working on it. Maybe I'm sure he will have people come around and tell him and quote the gravity law to him and telling him how the earth will exert its pressure on it and it will crash. But today, look at where we are. You can travel miles in airplanes without having any problems. There's really no rules to this life. But one thing I have to say, of course, if you are actually getting into music production, there are so many questions. There are some questions that you need to ask. There are some questions that you need to answer yourself. There are some things that you need to consider. First of all, if you want to become a music producer, I would want to, you will need to ask yourself what kind of music producer you want to be. Whom and who are you going to be producing? These are some of the easy questions that when you answer them, when you are able to answer them, then your decision there is straight. Definitely, like I said, you can become a music producer if you don't know how to play the instrument. Now let's really go into discussing it in details. Like I said, you need to ask yourself some questions and equally answer them. First of all, I asked, what kind of music producer do you want to be? Do you have the resources to buy instruments where you're doing trial and error, maybe trial and you're just trying your luck with the music thing? Do you want to do it professionally? I also said, who do you want to be producing? First, answering whom and who, or how you want to do it. If you really want to be doing it as a hobby, it's good. If you want to do it professionally, it's equally good. Now, let me ask you a question, which you should also ask yourself and answer it by yourself. If you want to be, you do not need to know how to play the instrument. If you just want to be making beats for yourself, you want to be making instrument for yourself, you do not need to know how to play any instrument. If you want to be making instrumental beats and be putting out for people to see them and hear them, listen to them and buy them, maybe you put them on some of the streaming platform like BeatStars, I don't think you need to know how to play the instruments. If you want to be making instrumentals for you, let's say you have an inspiration or you just fiddle around, find your way around and make a melodious beat for yourself, You do not need to know how to play the instrument. If you want to be making beat instrumentals and putting them out, like I said, like on BeatStars and several other sites like that, you do not need to know how to play the instrument. People will just come listen to your beats. If they like it, they will buy them. You do not know how to play the instrument. If you want to be recording, doing it yourself, it's good. These are some of the things that you need to consider. Now, if you really want, but if you want to do it in the sense that you need someone, you need to be producing for people. You just want to be part of the production, like from beginning to the end. You want to become like you have that production status. That's another place you need to ask yourself question and answer it. Let me tell you something that is interesting about some of the big producers, people who have made it in the industry that don't know how to play the instrument. Some of them started it as a hobby. And they started making instruments. They started making instruments and it sounds nice to them. Before you know it, everything went viral. They went viral with their music and become big. So if you have the time, it's not bad if you're doing it. Of course, many of us, we do music as hobby. So if you have the time, if you have the resources, you can and answer the question and it's cool with you. If it is what you really want to do, it's up to you. You're free to do it. Then the other question I asked, I said, whom do you want to be producing? Now, if you want to have a studio, have the producer status where you have people come in and record and possibly make music with you, then you need to know how to play the instrument. You need to know, at least on a scale of 90%, you are supposed to know how to play the keyboard, the basic instrument for production these days, especially with digital recording, is the keyboard. So you need to know how to play the keyboard. Why is this so? Say someone just walks into your studio or walks into your place or calls you up in the morning and say, I have written so and so music, I have written so and so song. I need you and I to stay together and compose a beat to it and compose an instrument for it. When you hear something like this, you already know that there's going to be a lot of time wasting if you don't know how to play the instrument. Why is this so? Because you might not know what the tone of whatever he's going to sing. You don't know what it will sound like. So you need to quickly find your way around the instrument, find your way around the keyboard. Even if you're going to hire other instrumentalists who can equally come around and play, then you realize that you need to know how to play the keyboard. You need to know how to find the chord of whatever he's going to sing. You need to find the chord of it. You will equally save time with it. I remember there's this guy who came to me the other time. He's a producer anyway, but he doesn't play the instrument. So some guy like that came to him. I don't know. Maybe, of course, some people can be like that. He just collected money from the guy, and they came to my place. They wanted to use my studio. They started making the beats from around 8 a.m. in the morning, and like after the whole day, they spent the whole day and left without them coming out with anything, because the guy was singing high life kind of music. So you can imagine how you can find your way around and maybe possibly sketch the beat, find the melodies for whatever, for the music he's singing, and make it for the song he's singing and make it a music. So these are some of the things you need to consider when you are going to go into this. Of course, we can talk about resources. Like if you're coming from the kind of place that I come from, you know that you don't really have time to play around or to consider to buy equipment that you are not going to use. So it is important. But one thing I want to say this is, I don't know why many young people find it difficult to going into learning the instrument. Let me tell a little about my own story. When I started out, then I really had the passion for the music to become a music producer. Of course, I started as a singer, and I was singing for a while. As I recorded so many songs, And after that, I went like, I really needed my own sound. Okay, not really because I needed my own sound. I just realized that every day, as time goes on, I no longer have the passion to just be on the stage, like to be the musician. I started having the drive towards, having the hunger towards going through towards music production. Then when I started learning how to produce music, I didn't know how to play any instrument. Of course, then back then there wasn't much people producing music without knowing how to play the instrument. Everybody who were around then, who were around where I learned how to produce music, all of them, they knew how to play the instrument. So I was the only one then. It was difficult for me, and but I really had the passion. So what am I trying to say? If you really have the passion for this, and why not just learn how to play the instrument? I was learning how to play the keyboard, and I was also learning how to uh, produce. I was learning how to use the digital audio workstations. I was learning the two of them. It took me just few years, and I really put my interest into it. I really put every of my attention into it, and before we knew it, I started playing. I started rehearsing, I started playing every day. I play every day. I was playing, and before we knew it, I started playing even in the church. So I don't think if you're young and you have the age advantage by you, there is no, if you're taking such decision, you take all of them at once. Just go on and learn how to play the instrument. You do not need to look at somebody like David Guetta. Even, of course, I think I read somewhere that David Guetta later went to learn how to play the piano. I think he later learned how to play the piano. You are not the same. You are not David Guetta. You're not SARS. So your future may not be the same. Things may not be working for you the way it works for them. So it's important you if you're going to take this decision, like I said earlier, you may be a producer without knowing how to play the instrument. But equally, it will be a very, very tough ride for you if you don't know how to play the instrument. The question boils down there as, what kind of producer do you want to be? I'll clear it again. I'll say it again. If you really need to ask these questions by yourselves and answer them. If you want to be putting out your instrumentals for people to just be a beat maker, people come, they listen to it, whatever you put. If you're putting it on BeatStars, on some of the other sites like that, people hear it and they like it and they say, oh, I want to buy this beat. Then you need to answer that. If you're going to be part of music production, like someone comes around, you put her together, you compose the beat, you know how they pass where they need to sing, and things they need to put together for it to be a real music. It's still the same thing. You see the same question you have to answer by yourself. The question is simple, even though it cannot be. It is both of them are yes. Like I said, you have yes on the other side. You have yes on the other side, but it all matters what kind of producer you want to be. Another thing there is we have several genres of music. These genres of music, these types of music also determine if you really need to know how to play the instrument or not. If you're looking to go into jazz music, definitely you should know how to play the instrument. If you're going to be doing like Afro R&B, you need to know how to play the instrument. But if you're going to be doing EDM, some styles of Afrobeat, there's some other several genres like that. You probably might not need to know how to play the instrument. Of course, instrument is an added advantage if you know how to play it good. But if you don't know how to play, if you want to really be a jazz producer, you need to know how to play the instrument. If you want to be a reggae producer, I think you need to know how to play the instrument as well. So the genre also determines but if you want to do hip hop you don't need to, especially with sampling these days, you definitely do not need to if you know how to play the instrument, it's an added it's an advantage for you. But if you don't know how to play the instrument, you won't be having much problem. If you want to be a beat maker, also you may not need to know how to play the instrument. But one thing I will always tell the young people, like I said earlier, is this: you have the time as an advantage. The time is so much on your side. There is no need for you to ignore the things that you need to do. There's no need for you to say no. There's no need for you to run away from learning how to play the instrument. If you want to do it as a hobby also, you really do not need to learn how to play the instrument. But nobody knows tomorrow. So tomorrow you might need it. Tomorrow you might become more interested in music. Tomorrow somebody might pick attention and say, "Oh, I really like your production." Then it happens that you do not know how to play the instrument. You might have several artists, like big artists, come to you like, "Oh, I really want to, I want to come. I have this song that I have written, and I want us to put it together and do it." It will be a difficult situation for you. So that is it for it. I think I've answered that question. I still remember Mr. Rodney from Platinum Mix. Please subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification button, and share my videos. Share my videos. This helps me to be putting out more videos. Thank you.